Hey, Beeblebum here, and today we're gonna talk about weapons in No Man's Sky, specifically which ones are the best for your needs. We will be checking how they are working, going over the pros and cons of each weapon, and how they are best to be used. After watching this video, you'll have all the information you need to decide what type of weapon will work for your playstyle and situation. In total, we will be covering the 5 combat modules you can install onto your multi-tool. We begin with projectile weapons. They fire ammunition crafted from the inventory or obtained through Sentinel drops. We have 3 different types of projectile weapons, which are the boltcaster, the pulse spitter, and the scatter blaster. I have prepared my multi-tool with each of the standard weapon modules so it's easier to demonstrate. Let us begin with the boltcaster. When shooting the boltcaster, you will notice it has a nice rate of fire and shoots in bursts of 6, which makes it a precise weapon with a minimum of recoil. This makes it a great choice of weapon for any distance. It has the fastest standard reload time and a nice clip size to begin with. Because of its moderate damage, it makes it a great backup gun. But once you install the central weapon modules, it really shines in comparison with many other weapon types. The central weapon modules only apply bonuses to the boltcaster and not to any other type, so this gives it a big advantage. I would advise to shoot in shorter bursts to improve the precision even more, especially on smaller targets, as the 6 burst shot tends to slightly drift. With larger targets you can aim slightly lower, so by the end of the burst the last bullets still make contact. The scatter blaster comes standard with extremely high damage and is No Man's Sky's shotgun. Like with every shotgun, the area of impact is larger and therefore has less accuracy. The further away your target is, the fewer bullets will hit it and the damage will be minimal. While you would expect the other bullets to do damage to the nearby targets, that is not the case. Only the target you aim at will be damaged. It also eats your ammo, so it will need regular reloading, and it's not the quickest reload. The recoil of the blaster is significant, but it recovers like any other weapon type quickly after use. The standard module allows you to rapid fire twice, but with extra modules fitted onto your multi-tool, the fire rate will go up significantly more, which of course results in your ammo going even faster through the drain. All in all, the scatter blaster is a great weapon but should be used in close combat. The last weapon in the projectile category is the pulse spitter. While its fire rate is not as high as the boltcaster, they are very close, and because it's not a burst shot, you can empty a whole clip at once. Because of that, it can deal damage quicker and beats the boltcaster in damage per second. I would however advise shooting this weapon in a shorter burst, as holding the trigger too long will result in your multi-tool drifting up. Apart from that, your last particles will start losing their grouping and wander away from your target. When shooting for smaller enemies, short bursts will keep the bullets nice and tight together. This weapon also needs regular reloading and takes a little bit more time than the boltcaster. One module you will want to have installed is the impact igniter, as that will cause damage over time to whatever you shoot. Next up are the energy weapons. Both these weapons are charged with carbon or condensed carbon from the inventory. You can either use the quick menu at the bottom of your screen or charge it from the inventory itself. This means reloading can take a little longer than pressing the reload button, but as both of them have a high clip count, it takes some time before they are empty. So first of all, we have the latest addition to our arsenal, which is the Neutron Cannon. The Neutron Cannon does quite a good amount of damage, especially when fully charged. I noticed the cost for a charged and a single shot are the same, and I'm unsure if that was intentional. A charged shot will be very similar to a scatter blaster, although the particles are better grouped. And it will also damage the surrounding targets, not only the target you aimed at, which makes it a better crouch control weapon. Because of that, I prefer using this weapon in derelict freighters, as you can make quick work of these small horrors with it, compared with the scatter blaster, which only kills one bug at a time. In a regular fight, I have to say I'm rather disappointed by the damage of it, especially being a high energy weapon. It is also not the greatest choice when overwhelmed, as charging takes too long. The fire rate can be rather quick depending on how quick you pull the trigger on your controller or mouse, but this also will lower the damage output. All in all, the Neutron Cannon is quite an underpowered weapon and feels better used in a supporting role. The last of the energy weapons is the Blaze Javelin. Now, the Blaze Javelin does some nice damage, and if it's fully charged, has a high chance of destroying small sentinels in one shot. The accuracy is perfect and will hit with full damage, but it is easy to miss if you're shooting a moving target. Charging takes about 2 seconds, so it's definitely not perfect to use while being overwhelmed. While shorter bursts are possible, they also will have a lower damage. One thing that is a must when using the Blaze Javelin is to install the biomechanical stun module, which will stun your targets for 5 seconds with each shot. I would not use the Blaze Javelin as a primary weapon, but the stun module will give it an amazing supporting role. So, with knowing all that, what is the best choice of weapon? Well, it depends a bit on your playstyle and what situation you find yourself in. My preference is to have 2 separate combat setups, which I can switch to when I feel the situation needs it. When I find myself in a fight with Sentinels, I like to have a multi-tool with a fully upgraded Ballcaster and Pulse Spitter, supported with a basic Javelin with stun module. Apart from that, I also have installed the Paralysis Mortar with the Voltaic Amplifier. Other modules I like to have installed are the Cloaking Device and the Combat Scope. Against the Boltcaster modules I have installed 3 more Sentinel weapon upgrades. These boost my total damage to more than 12,000 damage potential. 4,000 more than I can get with my Pulse Spitter. Sentinel weapon upgrades only affect the Boltcaster and no other weapon mods. It is a good thing to roll your upgrades and try to find the ones that have a triple effect and primarily boost the fire rate. Damage can be even more increased when fighting multi-tools with bonus stats. Alien multi-tools are definitely the best choice if you want to max out your damage. The Voltaic Amplifier module will boost any damage done by 21% when the target is stunned. So no matter if that was done by the Paralysis Mortar or the Blaze Javelin. I keep the Paralysis Mortar for crowd control and stun group of smaller Sentinels. The Blaze Javelin comes more in handy when wanting to stun walkers or mechs, as they are large targets and easy to hit. When in a fight with smaller Sentinels, I prefer the Boltcaster as it has great accuracy and a good amount of damage. It takes hardly 2 bursts of well-placed shots to take them down. The Pulse Spitter is a great secondary choice in a battle with Sentinels, especially the larger types. While its damage in this setup is much lower than my Boltcaster, the damage over time is a great addition. Stunning a walker and a mech with a short shot of a Javelin gives you enough time to switch weapons and take some big chunks of their health. However, I would advise against using the Blaze Javelin on quad Sentinels as they seem to be very hard to hit. A good placed Paralysis Mortar is a better decision. As stated in the Derelict Freighters, I like to be ready for those small buggers and have the Neutron Cannon ready. Derelict Freighters are mostly close combat, so no need for the Blaze Javelin and the Boltcaster. Here I like to have a combination of the Pulse Spitter, Scatter Blaster and the Neutron Cannon. While the Paralysis Mortar can come in handy, most enemies are not that dangerous and there is no real need for crowd control. Because of that, the Voltaic Amplifier is also a useless addition. Finally, installing a scanner module on all multi-tools is a great option just to scan for nearby resources and the unopened crates. So, this guide covered different weapon types from their pros and cons to what they can do for you and how you can use them. I hope it helps you narrow down your choices. Remember that stats can change in later updates, so make sure to check your setup before diving heads-on into battle. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you like this video then like and share it with your friends. This was Beeblebum, goodbye for now.